Every day we have the opportunity to do hard things. But the problem is we have an inherent need to conserve energy. I moved around a lot when I was a child. I went to 5 elementary schools, 4 junior highs, and 2 high schools, and that was before dropping out in the 10th grade. By the time I was a teenager, I was severely addicted to drugs. I was shooting up methamphetamines in basements at 17 years old. At 18 years old, I moved out to San Diego, California, and I was homeless. At 18 and 19 years old, I was the youngest person out of 280 men and 180 women that were residents in this shelter. I woke up in a cold concrete cell being told that I was facing 35 years in prison. And then when it was all said and done, I did end up spending 2 years. I served a 10-year prison sentence, and I served 2 years of that. Those were by far the hardest 2 years of my life. Like I said, I was a 10th grade dropout. I went back to school and spent 11 straight years in school and became Dr. Rand. I was a drug addict, severe drug addict. I started running marathons, ultra marathons. Now I own a health and fitness business. And I was homeless and incarcerated. Now I have a great house by the beach and an amazing family. It was through living this adversity, however, that I really experienced the most growth. When I started looking back on my life, I realized, like, wow, my hard childhood, being homeless, even being in prison, like, taught me so much, and I really grew from those experiences. But there's 2 kind of things that I want to recommend. Number 1, you're gonna face adversity. You're gonna come out of it, and you're gonna come out of it a better person than you went in. You are going to experience adversity no matter what. That's part of life. So embrace it, learn from it, and get that experience. And then number 2, create a healthy adversity in your life. Just doing hard things is adversity. And if we do that in a positive way, we can gain these lessons and these experiences from adversity without having to be homeless or go to prison. I've done an Ironman triathlon. I do obstacle course racing. So that's like 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, but with a bunch of obstacles thrown in. So I attempted to run 100 miles. Learning is a huge opportunity to do something hard. They call it plasticity when your brain creates new connections. We used to think that was only in babies and that when you're an adult, your brain was no longer plastic. It is less plastic than it used to be, but it's still plastic and we can still create new connections. Learning does that. I went on to get a PhD. I spent the whole decade of my 30s in college. How do I find that adversity? It will be scary. And that's one of the clues that you're going to be doing something hard, is if it scares you. Now, and why is it scary? Because of the fear of failure. So failing is important. The problem is we're scared of it and we don't want to do it, but we've got to reframe that. So what do we learn from failure? The main thing as far as the task that we're doing is we get feedback on that specific task. Beyond the task-specific feedback, it also teaches you humility. By failing and getting back and trying again, you build resilience and flexibility. You have to become flexible because you try something, it doesn't work, you have to try something else. One of the most important things, I think, in overcoming hard adversity is you have to develop a vision of where you want to be. Belief, this is the big one. You have a vision, and then you have to have belief. We all have self-limiting beliefs. You have to notice those negative beliefs so that you can start reframing them. Hopefully, I've made the case for doing the hard things, given you some examples of ways that you can do it. I just want to share a couple of principles. The principle of progressive overload states that you have to stress a system just enough that it can adapt. And then once it adapts, that same stressor is not enough. So you have to stress it a little bit more. And then the other one that you really want to pay attention to is specificity and crossover. And all this means is that to get better at something, you have to do that thing. However, there is crossover from one thing to another. So the thing you want to be best at is what you need to focus on. But then look for where things overlap into other areas. Just to kind of recap our takeaways here, It's not going to be easy. It will be scary. Create that vision and create a strong belief that you are able to accomplish that vision. Set and monitor goals toward your vision. Remember to be specific in what you're trying to accomplish and utilize progressive overload. And finally, have fun. This is a journey of life. We all want to get better. We all want to do these things, but you have to have fun while you're doing it, or it's not worth living.